Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
Coming to you out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 265. Hello out there, I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, getting all number dyslexic over here. Numeralexic. And I am...
Dysnomic.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get to introducing you in a second. First, we're going to introduce here, as always, except when he's not, is BT Calloway.
What's up, you hard rocks and wet socks?
And joining us all the way from beautiful Adelaide is Captain Nick.
Dysnomic Nick. I'm not actually dysnomic. I just said the word, so I thought I had to tie it all together into one.
Sounds like making fun of a small gnome.
Oh, dissing a gnome? Yeah.
Dysnomic,
well, to that I say ick.
That's a dysgnome track. This is a Simpsons Index. We review Simpsons. We used to review a bunch of Simpsons every podcast, but now we only review one because it's a lot, but there's still a lot.
They just need to make more.
Yay.
Sorry,
I hope they do.
I have to say this before we go any further.
Yep.
Elliot, when you said that's a dysgnome track, I started laughing because Meet the Grahams, the Kendrick diss track, can become Meet the Gnomes so quick, so easily. And Meet the Gnomes really made me laugh. I nearly spat out my sparkling water.
It's true. I was watching it happen.
Sorry.
And to any other podcasters out there, start a beef with me. I'd like the attention.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Can't just be me throwing shade at him.
I wish you wouldn't.
Shut up and have shade. You have very, very delicate skin and it's sunny.
Yes, and we're getting all sunny today. We're going out on the green and we're having a nice day
Set
out
away.
as we review Season 32, Episode 13, WAD Goals. First released in February of 2021, it was directed by Mike Frank Polcino, written by Brian Kelly. In this episode, Bart becomes a golf caddy and starts sucking up to rich people for big tips. But Marge is worrying that it's corrupting his soul. Hey guys, what did we think?
This one was almost good.
Yeah, I agree with almost good. And something I was reflecting on after watching the episode and when I was putting some notes together, Elliot, is one thing that I really like about the Simpsons Index is that you are a very conscientious host insofar as if you have an episode with queer themes on it, you try to get some queer guests on. If you have an episode with trans themes, you try to get a trans guest on. And then you do a golf episode and you're like, I need a smug fuckhead. Hey, Nick will be free on a Tuesday night. And so here I am. I feel very touched.
Some kind of lawyer or doctor, one of the two.
Yeah, it needs to be a lawyer or a doctor. Definitely a smug fuckhead, but preferably a lawyer or a doctor. And he won't have any plans because it's a Tuesday night. The golf courses are closed.
Famously always on a Tuesday.
And you're looking fine as always, I must say, Captain Nick.
Oh, thank you very much. So what's that? What was your handout for?
Listeners at home,
I was
Elliot
expecting
is
a tip.
putting his hand up to the webcam as though expecting a tip, and
I don't
audio medium, 200 and whatever episodes.
I don't have a wad of cash, but I do have a card here that I could tap on my camera if they've got Square payments to now work through, if they've got contactless to work through.
Imagine it just tocking Elliot in the head. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Modern day tipping. I can never get these bloody things to work as he's just slamming against the caddy's head.
But going back to what do we think of the episode, I think it ended a hell of a lot better than it started. Then the very, very, very end, the very final scene was absolute garbage.
Yeah.
So have you seen Caddyshack? Famous not movie watcher.
Oh, I reckon last year I was at a birthday lunch and Caddyshack was playing on the TV on the wall of the pub that I was in. So I watched the whole movie with no sound while drinking beer. Does that count?
This is the exact... I watched an episode of Matlock. It was like...
Just across the room, the sound was down, but I think I got the gist.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, but I did know that, you are a bit of a golfer. You've been known to swing the irons, as
tee off.
I've just said. Yep. As some of my friends call it, play a bit of thwack fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I think, my favourite way to refer to it. But yeah, look, I've played golf every now and then. Is golf a defensible hobby? No. Is any hobby defensible? Not really.
Not really.
So I'm not going to bother getting into the politics of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I mean, I was excited to see a golf episode because I was like, finally, something that, speaks to me. And then it just didn't feel very well executed for reasons that I'm sure we'll delve into.
Oh, absolutely. And I keep forgetting to do this. I've been making a habit lately of asking repeat guests, have you been keeping up with The Simpsons at all?
Yeah.
Have you delved into the new seasons or gone back to the old ones?
No, the last time I watched the Simpsons episode consciously was in July last year when you invited me on to do the Ashley Starling Taylor Swift
Yep.
Fuck, has it
Simpsons
been
episode.
that long since we did that?
crazy.
Well, I was going back through our message history to find your Disney Plus login password. We'll bleep all that. And
That's fine.
and
There are so many leeches on his Disney Plus account. It's insane.
well,
Might be cracking down, actually.
Well, actually, the funny part about it is we don't need to bleep that because I ended up having to sign up and do the first month trial, whatever it is anyway, because I was not allowed to log in on Elliot's account, possibly
Why that
because
happened.
most of the nation is logged in on Elliot's account. But
Yeah. Anyone out there listening, get off of Elliot's account. We need it
get
back.
off of Elliot's account. But I'm not really keeping up with The Simps. I will read those news stories when news.com.au will say, "Oh my god, shocking thing happened on The Simpsons causing outrage," and then you read it and it's not even a story. Like it's not even a story that they're beating up to be something else. It is just a dead end.
They did a parody of some 90s TV show. Who cares?
Oh my god.
Which 90s TV show will shock you?
Yeah.
There's actually an episode in this, the next season that is literally, you won't believe what happens in this episode. Act 3 will shock you. That's the title.
God. Again, as always, about 10 years too late.
Especially with all the golf commentary. Who's even talking about that anymore?
Golf. Like, who even does golf?
Well, that's my next question on the questionnaire. BT, do you does golf?
I do not does golf. I've not ever been to the golf, unless we're talking about miniature golf, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I've been to driving ranges, but I have not been to a golf
course.
Yep. That's the word I'm looking for.
Actually,
Golf
remember that
gymnasium.
time when we went to mini golf in Bateman's Bay and there was that horrific Bart Simpson hole?
Yes,
and
that's right.
I'd eaten some broccoli that day and I got a surprisingly high score. Like, I think I beat everybody.
right.
Like,
No
I
wonder
scored under par. Like,
No
I was
wonder
very
you
proud.
got a high score. You'd have been on your broccoli. Blah.
Oh, yeah, it's golf. I got a low score.
Yeah. No, I did know what you mean. I was just
He
riffing on
was
the
in the
word high.
zone, as they might say. But yeah, I can't remember what was the Bart Simpson statue, just this leering eyes.
Oh, man, I'm trying to find it because I know we went there in 2018, but, oh, man, it is quite the sight, that thing.
Yeah, given that you collect fucked Simpsons merchandise, look, let's see if we can buy it.
Yeah. Put in an offer down at Bateman's Bay.
Why
see
the
what
hell
we can-
not? What are they doing? But no, I have not golfed. No. I do own a tartan hat somewhere.
And you look great at it.
mean-
Yeah, I did a bit of golf in high school, but I never actually went out to a range. Is that what you call it? A golf field?
Golf
a course?
gymnasium.
So range is like the practice where you just stand there with a bucket of 50 balls and smack them out into the sky.
Mhm.
Course is like where you've got multiple holes that you're walking through and doing that.
Right. In that case, I've been to a golf range, but not a course, because at school they offered it as one of the sports. When I had done bowling for 4 terms in a row, and my teachers go, "You have to pick something else, Elliot. You
Oh,
can't
really?
just
Why? You were just too good at the bowling? Or maybe you weren't good enough. You needed more practice. Come on, one way or the other.
Are we talking 10-pin bowling or like lawn
Yes.
bowling? Or yeah, right. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Traditional 10-pin.
That's alarmingly slick for a school to offer that as a sport.
Yeah, no, I had it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
cool.
Is this
right.
is this a Sydney thing?
I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
We just had the Wonder Bowl near my place. Oh my god, I found the fucking picture. Oh. Sending it right away. Can I send images through Riverside?
I don't know, we're gonna find it.
I'll have to send it in Messenger.
All right.
Oh, good thing we have a group chat thing open.
We do.
We don't have like cute little nicknames for each other. Have you guys ever like looked what your nicknames are in the various group chats?
I mean, his name is Nick. Low hanging fruit.
I'm laughing because my James, co-host from the long defunct Pods in the Key of Springfield, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. That means a lot to me. For some reason, years ago when I was drunk, I changed our nicknames in our chat. That's just the two of us. To my name in the chat is Arthur Fuckhead, and his name is Arthur Fuckhead also.
Oh, that's sorry. Just looking at the picture now. Oh god, listener, it is Bart Simpson's face, but the eyes are just these glowing yellow orbs with no pupil, and just terror. It's got the the look of just go on, knock it into my mouth.
It's actually it reminds me of two things. It reminds me of two things. It reminds me of the clown bed that gives Bart nightmares. And it reminds me of Frylock from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, combine those two things. And like Frylock when he's using eye lasers.
And that it makes the girlies want to scream.
Oh, yeah. The insane thing about that is I literally have a note where I also talk about Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh, because the golf game?
No, because this episode featured a needle drop of Cream by Wu-Tang. Cash rules everything around me. And as soon as that started playing, I was like, oh, this makes me want to go listen to the Aqua Teen Hunger Force intro song. Because that intro goes hard as hell.
Yep.
So man. Yeah, because there's a PlayStation 2 game, the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and it's a mini golf game.
Huh. Oh, no way.
Okay. It's all connected.
Awful. Truly, really bad.
My favorite PlayStation 2 awful golf game was called Outlaw Golf.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, where there's a bunch of characters of like, there's a biker who's covered in tattoos. There's a woman in a short skirt.
Outrageous.
Outrageous. And if you're playing badly, you can go into a focus mode where it turns into a fighting minigame and you beat the shit out of your caddy. And if you beat your caddy to within an inch of their life, then you get great focus for the next shot.
Wow.
Terrible.
Just like golf.
Just like golf, to be honest.
Yeah, and just like this episode. Rounding off, I was actually surprisingly good at golf is what I found, but I had no desire or drive to keep going with it any further.
Drive to keep going on with it.
Oh, man. But actually, just briefly on golf video games, like, do you indulge those at all? Like, actual, like, proper sim ones?
All the time, especially because as a PlayStation Plus member, usually once a year, one of the big golf games, whether it's the Tiger Woods franchise or the EA Sport, like, PGA Tour franchise or whatever it is, one of those golf games will be, like, the free monthly game.
Sure.
And it is a really handy game to just have on your machine all the time as a digital download, and especially when I have a friend who also likes playing the golf video games, and sometimes we'll just sit on a couch drinking beer, passing a controller back and forth, just taking turns playing shots. So
nice.
It's fun.
Yeah. No, I'm a bit of a fan of them, just like in terms of like a puzzle game, because like, and it's such a done formula now that even me as a like actual IRL golf novice, like I know the shorthands enough to know what I'm meant to do to, essentially solve these little puzzles in games. So
yeah,
nice.
That's a good way of looking at it. I like that.
All right, that's everything we had time for today, so let's just wrap.
This episode. BT, what stands out to you for better or worse?
Look, it's going to be round about the point that things started going a bit wrong for me is Marge's whole, Bart gets this job as a caddy. She kind of dislikes him the way he sucks up to everybody. And there's, something Marge about that, the sense that, I'm glad you're behaving, but also you're losing yourself. But it doesn't really come through enough. And what really kind of stuck it out was when she puts up this petition to like get the golf course taken down, and then but calls it because there's a word limit on the petition. She has to go it from stop coddling the South Juniper, whatever the hell,
wealthies or something.
Yeah, shortens it to stop coddling the SJWs, and that of course blows up and gets 1 million likes. And that's never mentioned again. Like, I'm glad we didn't go off on a tangent into, like, now she's the leader of the, conservative incels or anything. But just, like, this was such a weird thing to have as your turning point for the story to then never be referenced again.
One of my notes here was, did anyone else do a big intake of breath through their teeth when Marge typed it? Just like, as soon as she typed SAW, I was just like, where are we going? Oh, no.
Yep, where are we going, Marge?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be entirely inconsequential, other than it tricked a lot of conservative people into signing it seems to be the only thing is that it tricked a lot of people into signing the petition, and then we never hear about it again. And I'm like, okay, it seems like an odd logic leap for The Simpsons to take.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, looking back, it's been almost 8 years since we started this, and at the start of that, it was like, oh my god, Bart's got a smartphone. This is not my Simpsons. This is so weird. But now it's like, oh god, they're using words like woke and SJW, and it's so chuggy.
I think chuggy is chuggy now, Elliot.
Fuck.
Yeah. I hate to be the one to tell you.
Can't keep up.
Yeah, it's rough.
Well, I guess I'll go yeet myself or something. I didn't even like. No,
I work with a lot of Gen Zs, and today they were playing 2048, and I took over and just showed them how it's done, and apparently I was cooking. So that's a term I became familiar with today.
Yeah, cooking. There we go.
Yes. And they're like, oh, he's cooked. I'm like, what? No, that's not what I'm doing well. It's like, no, it's good. I'm like, okay, you kids and your fucking expressions.
Oh, jeez.
Just say I'm bad. That's the way it works. That bad means good.
And now turning to the snack of this lineup, nickibis, what stands out to you from this episode, for better or worse?
Oh, can we replace, Captain Nick with just the snack? I'm going to change your name in the group chat. Hang on a sec.
Snacked and Nick.
It writes itself.
So the bit that stood out to me the most is when Bart starts earning money and he takes the family out to the ice cream parlor, and then when he tips them quite healthily and puts it in, says, buy yourself a bigger tip jar. And then whoever's behind the counter assembles all the other people in the ice cream parlor, and it becomes very clear that they're going to sing a song. And again, I was breathing in through the sides of my teeth, just going like, oh God, this is going to be painful. But then it turned out to be some insane, incomprehensible nonsense version of Carol of the Bells, that dun 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 dun. And it was just like, tips, thanks for the tips. And it genuinely made me laugh. It was so unexpected and dumb because I thought it was going to be, like some stupid ballad where they try to write a joke or whatever. And to just be like, tips, really, really got me.
Yeah, I was actually digging the lyrics on it first, and then all of a sudden they add in squeaky voice teens layer into it, where it just became la 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 la, and the lyrics became incomprehensible more so.
Yeah.
Like, it was unexpected.
Baffling to me, really. Yeah, it was like, oh no, this sounds too good. Add some shit.
Yeah. It's the kind of joke that I could easily go either way on any given day, but on this particular day, it actually got me.
Actually, speaking of squeaky voice teen, did the head caddy of the South Junipers, whatever, did that seem like a squeaky voice teen cousin to you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good pickup.
He's some skinny guy with some pimples. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to stereotype, but I mean, we also had last week. Just last week, we had a squeaky voice teen Latvian Uber driver edition.
Yeah. All right. Well, this just in. Squeaky voice teen fucks, apparently, and has weird children everywhere.
Or his dad fucks.
I mean, that's what I should have said.
All these people are roughly his age.
Like, I'm about 2 steps behind myself today, so things aren't going well.
One squeak short of a voice teen.
Do you squeak on my voice until I teen?
Sure, we'll go with that.
And what stands out to me from this one, I don't know. I don't hate the plot of this one. It's another one where, I actually feel like, besides that SJW petition thing, I don't think there's a lot of, terrible plot movements in this one, and I feel like it does flow a bit, and I did settle into this one. It didn't make me uncomfy watching this one. The story seemed to follow along is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are just a few bits that feel unexplored. I didn't really get Marge's problem with this at first, and they eventually got around to be like, oh, she even says something effective, just let me know that all this sucking up isn't going to take away my special little guy. That worked. I needed that a little bit earlier, or the bit where Bart starts being a dick to his friends. They kind of leave him because he's all like, oh, if I buy everything for you, you won't earn wads of your own. But that never really comes to anything. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, did feel at the start, it did feel like Marge's concern was completely unearned. Like,
yeah.
And I have a note there saying, I don't think this feels genuine to Marge. And maybe if we had seen a couple of the rich golfers be mean to Bart, and then at the end of the round they go, oh, well, here's some money to shut up or whatever. But, I mean, yeah, he was sucking up to them and being nice, but they were being really nice back to him. Like, it didn't sit right with me, Marge's concern. But then, But then the speech at the end where she was like, "I don't want them to take my little special guy because these men seem to get everything they want." That was like, it was actually a pretty good heart moment. Sorry to skip ahead, Elliot, but it was a pretty good heart moment. It's just, and similar to you, PT, I was like, well, where the fuck has this been for the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, because that's the point, and it just needed to be earlier on. Or you're right. If he'd been treated poorly but was sucking it up anyway because, hey, money. And for a while you'll be like, I don't really care. But all the parts that illustrated the problem came right in the end.
Yeah.
Like I even like the turn where the guy running the place, Bart's all like, hey, you can't, ditch me for your old caddy. When I'm a member here, I'm going to teach the caddies well. And the guy's like, oh, you'll never be a member. It's like that kind of, well, I appreciate leaving that to the end, but just a bit more of it earlier on.
Yeah, I will say there has been a lot left off the table. You're talking about like his friendship with his friends and like how this job has changed him in that way and how he like views how he treats people. Yeah, I guess that's like not super well explored. And even Marge's entry into the story is like, oh, there's Bart. I'm going to spy on him and see how he's going in his job. That's just like, you just have that in a conversation later on at the Simpsons house when he's showing off his wad or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. By the way, were you guys super relieved after me telling you this is the episode we're reviewing? It's called Wad Goals. It's like, oh, that kind of wad. Okay, good.
Wasn't going to be a string of fat jokes,
Yep, I did have a note saying we really are saying wad a lot in this episode of The Simpsons, aren't we?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect for the wad drinking game.
And the one line where like Homer pulls out his wad and it's partly fake because he's put other things inside the money, and Bart goes, "You pad your wad," and I'm like, words don't mean anything anymore.
It's all just tonality.
It's one of those things where if you say the word Suzuki so often, then it sounds like you've never heard the word Suzuki before. And like hearing Bart say "you pad your wad" really put me over into a different dimension.
Interesting. Well,
now I'm just thinking about how pad and wad like spell like they should rhyme, but they don't rhyme.
They do not. Yeah.
It's the continuum vacuum problem all over again.
Yeah. Why don't cheese and geese rhyme?
Well,
but I did like the detail there where like Bart's wad is like all these crisp new $20 bills, and then Homer's, even the ones that aren't dryer sheets, like really crumpled and torn and whatever. He's been holding on to this wad for a while. It's all he's got, man.
I can't take this many repetitions of the word wad.
Look, we'll do our best.
We Suzuki did.
Wad help you if you can't take it.
What is it good for? Absolutely.
Yay, we broke Nick.
Oh.
I didn't know I wanted that.
And by the way, if you want to hear more of Nick, check out Wads in the Kia Springfield.
Bravo.
What am I doing here?
Hi-oh.
Wackiness. Was this a particular, golf wackiness? Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Ralph teleports through lockers. Nelson shoves him in one and he comes out another.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Ralph in this episode. There's your source of wackiness.
Ralph is pure psychosis now.
This kid's just hallucinating all the time, apparently.
Yeah. Hallucinating a parade. He thought it was parade day. He was hosting
Parade Day parade.
He was hosting the Parade
Day
parade. Turns out there was just a lot of cars behind him that were angry that he was in the middle of the road, but he was fully hallucinating an entire parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Is this a recent pivot?
Ralph has deteriorated mentally on a very sharp decline in recent seasons.
Honestly, whomst among us? But that was a definite surprise for me to see that, he's no longer simple. He is now inhabiting an alternate reality.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. He is whatever they want him to be. He's getting courted by the NBA. He's hallucinating parades.
Yep. He's getting nominated for president.
He's a mole avoiding explosions. Sure.
God, that boy has lived. All right.
So that's the state of Ralph.
I like that none of that was made up either.
Just one of those, this all happened on The Simpsons.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, as always, it's the Flanderization of every character. They slowly get distilled down into one thing, and Ralph is insane.
yeah, it got distilled down into one thing and then shot out into many crazy other things. But yeah, actually, cartoony moments kind of lighten this episode up until the very end, where Bart, having enough of Golfman's shit, decides that he'll rent a bunch of ATVs with his friends and fucking chew up the fucking golf course.
Yeah, so that was a quick bit of heart I did quite like, where Bart's looking at what do I do with all this money, and he looks at buying an and then and then eventually says to his friends, they're like, oh, well, when you buy it, can we have turns? And he's like, oh, then you'll never get your own. They'll storm off annoyed.
Yeah, you won't be motivated enough to get an ATV of your own.
But then the fact that when we do see Bart, riding around the green, tearing it up on the quad bike, he has the good line of, why buy one when I can rent many? And that's when all the friends come in. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's tied a little bit back to it.
Yeah, which is nice.
I think Milhouse runs over a hydrant and it starts spewing out golf balls. And that's my other note of whack.
Oh, isn't that a thing? The golf washing station?
They don't spurt out like they're under pressure, Elliot.
Yeah.
Maybe they do.
My understanding.
It's true. Neither of us have been. So, do they?
My understanding of the golf ball washer is that it's just a reservoir that you can. So it's like a reservoir of water, and then your golf ball sits in a. God, how
like
would I
a
describe? Shut up. Imagine if you've cut out the core of an apple.
Okay, I'll imagine that.
So you can lift the cylindrical core of an apple out of the apple core. You pop the golf ball into a little holder that sits in the core, and then you dunk it back down into the apple, which is a reservoir of water. And on the way down, it goes through a series of bristles, and that's how it cleans the golf ball. They are not pressurized hydrants as or perhaps in Springfield Juniper, which seems to be the name of this golf course. Weird name for a golf course, but that is perhaps they have pressurized ones, but the other ones are all just apple core reservoirs. If I can put it that way.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, because that is actually one detail with this episode where. So yeah, Ralph's parade fantasy leads into him finding out what's behind the big hedge, and then he goes to school telling people, "I found what's behind the big hedge."
I do like. He has the line of, "My eyes told me a secret." I kind of like that.
Poetic way to say that you've seen something you shouldn't have.
Yes.
And then, brings all the kids over to the big hedge, and in one of the annoying, wacky moments of the episode, they're like, "How do we get through the hedge?" And Bart goes, "I've seen my dad do this." And does the phasing into hedge gif, which
the T1000.
I think this is, by my count, the third time The Simpsons have referenced this gif within the show.
Yeah.
So my note here, because I watched this at my computer, so I had Notepad open on the second monitor and I was bashing away furiously. Oh God, they referenced the hedge gif. Just stop it, you greedy fucks. This show is disappearing into the opposing mirrors, showing recursive reflections of itself. Like, it's just... How many more times are you going to reference the thing that you did before? Like,
I like that metaphor as well, because if the mirrors get too close, they'll have nothing left to reflect.
Yeah. So, and it felt like, especially because this version, which was Bart disappearing into the hedge, and then the other four follow his lead, and the four of them disappear into the hedge. And so, like, are they having a second bite at trying to make that into a reaction meme? Where it's like, me and the crew disappearing when you blah, blah, blah. Like,
I mean, are they making enough money off Big GIF, like, for all their successful GIFs, like, that they...
It's a really good question. Who is making the money off Big GIF?
You know what you're doing there. But, it's just... And it's not even, like, just this famous GIF that they reference either. Like, they've done it a couple of times with, like, the Ralph Rolling GIF and the other time I'm sure I forgetting?
Yep, we've yelled about it.
Yeah, go listen to every other podcast and let me know which times I yelled about it, because I'm sure it happened.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon's GIF, Gordon.
Gordon's GIF.
It's hard to yell, but we'll do it.
And the other wacky part I wanted to mention is how this episode ends. So somehow the golf club get registered as a religion. Oh, yeah, because after Marge's successful petition, they're now due to pay property tax, and they get inspired by Bart to, redefine golf as a religion, and then that successfully gets passed. And like all religions, apparently turns into a sex cult at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's illegal.
Yeah. So they tear it, Bart and the kids tear up the course with the ATVs. Police come. Leader of the golf club says you're about to get arrested, and then the cops arrest him because he's running a sex cult, because that's what religions do.
Really comes out of nowhere.
Pretty dog shit ending.
Yeah.
I honestly would have preferred if Wiggum rocked up and said, "Who are you here to arrest?" and he said, "Oh, I don't know, Mo." Like that would have been that honestly would have been more self-aware than this ending, which was just, we have no idea how to end this, but it needs to end now.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was a fine enough story turn. This is one of the parts of the plot I liked, which was, redefining golf as religion, and then, their 10 commandments is like those jokey commandments you see in blokey stores.
And like golf mugs and stuff.
Yeah, I like that they turned that into, and I think that worked for the story, but this is just such a cop-out ending.
Even Marge's line of, those aren't commandments, those are jokes I don't get.
Yeah.
Yes. I just thought of an ending which I think it would be genuinely better.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, Elliot, I'm ruining the flow of the questionnaire. But what if golf club calls the cops, Wiggum rocks up, he says, there they are, arrest him, and Wiggum's like, well, I can't arrest this guy, he's 10 years old. As a matter of fact, what were you doing hiring a 10-year-old? And then the golf club gets fucking shut down anyway because they've got illegal hiring practices. Yeah. Bart gets his comeuppance against the bad guy. Marge gets her thing of Bart not working there anymore. And we don't have to rely on a lame sex cult joke.
Yeah.
It's an all-round winner.
Thank you.
I think you've won this podcast. Well done.
Yeah. Fucking Eagle Nick over here.
Another golf term, everybody.
The rest of us just birdies.
Yep.
Is the under par 3, is that an albatross?
Yeah, so par, birdie, eagle, albatross.
And you can't get 4 under par.
I mean, technically you could get a hole in one on a par 5, but good luck.
Yeah.
Because
he said words.
Yeah, because a par 5 would be like a 580 meter hole, maybe. So if you can hit it, technically it's possible. So there are some courses that will have like a paved path for the carts to go over. Technically, if you bounce it on that concrete path, it could go for quite some way. But anyway, eagle, birdie, albatross, fun.
Yeah, well, the albatross one always struck me as weird because isn't an albatross around your neck is a metaphor for a bad thing?
A bad.
Yeah.
Cheers. Yes.
Sure. I mean, I suppose if you had an eagle around your neck, that's not great either.
Yeah, I suppose.
Birds and necks don't really go together too well.
But how was the heart in this episode?
There was certainly some. There's, again, a bit unexplored where Marge is getting this place shut down because she's exposing it as, tax cheats, and Bart just storms up to her and says, I finally found something I'm good at and you're taking it away. It's like, okay, that should, land a bit more, but we kind of don't live there long enough for it to work.
Yeah.
And the rest I think we've already kind of mentioned of, I don't want these golf people to change you because they're so used to getting what they want. And even, Bart blowing up the owner, him being like, you're never going to be a member here. People like you don't become people like me. Yeah, that all works. And yeah, why buy a sweet ATV when you can rent a whole bunch?
I enjoyed, there was a tiny bit of heart when we find out that Skinner is also a caddy. So there's a bit where he says, now that we're not at school, I can tell you something I've always wanted. You're really cool. And I was like, that was weird and didn't land. But then Player comes along, picks Bart as the caddy, and
Chalmers.
Chalmers comes along, and then Agnes Skinner comes along, sees that Seymour's the only caddy left, and just says, well, I just won't play, and turns around and walks away. And he has a little, and his Huh. A little bit of heart.
A little bit of heart there.
Yeah. And again, there were some jokes I quite liked in this one. And that was a nice little exchange.
Yeah. I just, realised as well, we haven't gone over the guest stars of this episode.
No, guest stars.
So, playing Bildorf, the big golf owner, whatever, Stephen Root.
I know who that is.
Folks might remember from Office Space, he played, what's his name? He had the stapler guy.
Milton.
Milton, yeah, that's right. And he was also in the just recently finished show Barry. He was like the hitman mentor.
Oh, he gets around eventually.
Oh, yeah, he was also Bill Doretrieve. Is that his name from King of the Hill?
Oh, he does get around then.
Yeah, been around the block. Lots of voice work.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of voice work, also joining the cast now is Kimberly Brooks, was playing Lewis Clark, but a friend who never had a line in like 20-odd years. And,
Yeah, that's right, that guy.
Oh, and his line was really weird too.
It's like, hey, I have a line now.
Something about like something independent award ceremony, if you can even call that independent.
Yeah, it was just some weird non sequitur before they phased into the bush, yeah.
Yeah, like, get used to this voice, kids. You're going to be hearing a whole bunch of it.
Once per season, maybe.
Yeah.
But also doing Dr. Hibbert for the very first time in the series run is Kevin Michael Richardson. This is the episode where he officially replaced Harry Shearer in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. That's actually interesting because I didn't think, oh, wow, new Hibbert voice.
Okay.
And maybe it's just been a long time since I've watched The Simpsons, but it didn't stick out to me.
Well, it's really interesting because, like, in recent times, Hibbert doesn't sound like Hibbert. It just sounds like Kevin Michael Richardson. And this is the one time where I'm like, no, this was you trying to do a Hibbert. Like,
yeah, that's what we've speculated on. It feels like he's just, speaking as him. He's not trying to do the Hibbert voice.
Yeah.
And I think of all of them, because, Lou the Cop and Carl have also been replaced. But I feel like Hibbert was the most signature voice, that
it's more distinct. There was something pretty like generic and easily replaceable about Lou and Carl's interpretation that even though it's changed, you're like, it's Lou and Carl. But like Hibbert, there is something weird about having such a distinct voice, but I get if you're a black actor and you don't want to do an impression of a white guy doing an impression of a black guy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we speculated on, that he was told to not try and do a Dr. Hibbert impression and just give it something new.
Yeah.
And just went with his natural voice, pretty much.
Yep. And also in a small guest ring role, James C. was playing the Dalai Lama, I guess. Or he's listed in the credits as the Lama.
Yeah.
And he was the voice of Jackie Chan in Jackie Chan Adventures and would often be his ADR replacement voice in Jackie Chan movies.
Like officially Jackie Chan's voice.
Yeah. His voice double.
Neat.
He does his own stunts, but he won't speak his own damn words.
Yep.
There you go. Ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? Characters behaving like themselves, show behaving like itself.
Eventually, when you know what their motives are, sure. Like, again, I think it's just that sticking point of I didn't understand Marge's conflict until way too late. But, other than that, sure. I think that's why what is really going to stick out to me is, it doesn't make sense for Marge to dislike this until they explain, but that's in the third act. And so for a long time, it's like, why are you against this? He's making money. He's, doing well.
And Marge, if you're shocked at the idea that Bart has to be nice to those who have quote unquote higher status than him, boy, are you going to be shocked when you learn about every fucking job ever. And I think maybe that's why it all just rang a bit hollow to me. Because the point wasn't really well made, as we've said, until the very end. But I think other than that, for Marge being slightly unanswered, I think everyone else was fine. Bart saw an exploit and he went for it,
Yep. Yeah, just because it means he has to be nice doesn't break the fact that it's an exploit and that's what he's going for. And it's not really a break, but I also kind of find Lisa a little bit weird. Her first line where it's like, she's making fun of Bart for having a job. It's like, bitch, are you ever happy? Good Lord. What do you want here?
Oh, Pete coming out against Lisa.
I'm just saying. She can't always be right. How about some support for once?
That's right, because it's like nothing's happened yet. It's just, we're all very proud of Bart for having a job. And Lisa goes, I'm sure he's going to learn a lot from carrying sticks. And it's like, well, lots of jobs have fucking pointless aspects to them.
Yeah.
Ever tried gathering firewood or kindling? You gotta carry some
Everyone's
sticks.
got to start somewhere.
Got to carry some sticks.
What they say.
Yeah, I did find it was kind of against character that, that was like her problem, and she wasn't like, initially calling out all the like dodgy history with golf and whatever, and like that she had to look it up on like the woke Wikipedia or whatever to see how she could be outraged about it.
Yeah. Like you think she would start off with like, I'm really glad you're helping out these rich guys not even have to carry their own gear or something. It's just, again, rang kind of hollow.
Kind of hollow. And that Homer wasn't more invested in the story and maybe getting a bit more jealous of Bart or something in his wad. Sorry,
I mean,
just got to get the wad quota up in this.
It's a very full episode. Like we cut straight to episode from, the clouds. So
straight into hallucination.
No time to wad around.
For fuck's sake.
Yep. Sorry, it's just it's fun now.
Yes or no? Would you watch this episode again?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yep.
Yeah, you know what? I just got my washing machine fixed, and I have got 5 baskets of laundry that I've gathered up since it broke.
Oh, damn.
So I'm in the mood for some laundry episodes.
How many clothes do you have?
Week and a half works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also the clothes that I didn't get to do before I did the washing.
Yep. Story checks out. Everyone stop interrogating him. I had a thing, and then I thought, it would be fun to watch this episode again without that moment of, oh, where are you going to go with this?
True. It's nice that it doesn't go to too many cringy places, but talking about episodes that remind us of this one as well, if I'm putting it in a playlist, man, it's weird how Bart goes, oh, I didn't know Springfield had a golf course, and he's been to a golf course in Springfield.
Yeah, the country club and one.
Yeah, they were almost members of it.
Look, it's one of those things where technically, if there's a gigantic golf course in the middle of your house when you have, maps on your phone and whatever. But I do enjoy they kind of lean into that where, they get through the hedge and see it's a golf course and they pan out. It's dead. The center of Springfield takes up about 30% of it. They kind of leaned into that aspect of just, I was fine with that.
I'm not sure if it's because you're 2 steps behind yourself, but I do enjoy that you said you would know if there was a big golf course in the middle of your house.
Oh, I did not know that, but you would definitely know that.
To be fair, you would.
Yeah.
Now, why is my couch all sandy?
What are these hard, flavorless eggs?
BT, what would you change about this one? Good luck to all of us for beating Captain Nick. That was a fucking solid shout.
Thanks, man.
It's just going to be tighten up them dogs. Because there's nothing really drags too much, but just, the fact that we get straight into the episode, this is already full and yet it feels like it's falling short in a lot of places. I would want to focus on one of the social aspects a bit more. Get that Marge bit earlier is really going to be my biggest one. But overall, this one's all right.
Yeah. Nick?
One other thing I would like them to change is what I'm going to call Chekhov's Jimbo, because Bart gets into becoming a caddy by seeing Jimbo the bully do it. And then Jimbo's like, yeah, it's great. You just be nice to them and then you get a bit of cash. And then we end up with Bart having a rivalry with a completely different caddy, and it's like, where's Jimbo in all this? Why did we put Jimbo in this?
Yeah, extra steps. There's pre-existing animosity between those two. Yeah, dang. Because I was going to say, what would I change is...
Sorry, have I stolen your thunder?
Nah, but in better way, because I was like, what of Milhouse in here? Like, he got the job at the same time. Like, why isn't that help sowing the discontent between the friends? Because, I brought it up before. I wish there was more Bart, like, having to get on the good side with his friends again and, like, them being annoyed at him starting to act like rich people that are, like, will tip them to, like, shut them up or whatever. Like, I was hoping there'd be a bit more of that and a bit more of a, come on, guys, let's fucking take down these rich wads and all that sort of stuff. I was trying to find, what did Nelson call him? I think just butt wad.
I think so. Yeah. Yes, because Milhouse, like he is caddying for Burns and he's doing a really bad job and keeps saying like a whole bunch of things that Burns doesn't like, and then we never see him again. Are we to believe that he was so bad that he quit? Like, how is it possible that there are this many loose ends in a 24-minute episode?
That certainly had the time to do that. And just talking about butt wads as well reminded me, do you guys put your wallet in your back pocket of your pants? In your butt pocket?
Nope.
No, I'm a side pocket guy.
I don't
Right.
get the butt pocket, guys. Like,
Yeah.
have I got too much in my wallet that like it feels uncomfortable and I'm aware of it and I'm just afraid of like snapping my credit cards with my butt?
There are definitely times if I'm going to something where I know I'm going to be standing around for a long time, I might put it in my back pocket then, because pants do look better without a chunky wallet in a side pocket.
Yeah.
And as anyone who's seen me in the flesh knows, I'm very concerned about my silhouette. But the idea of like, I'll just get in the car and drive for half an hour and I won't be able to sit flat because I've got a wallet under one side of my bum. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
It's meant to be a thing where like something like 40% of men have disaligned like hips because their wallet's pushing the one up higher.
40% of men have a golf course in their house.
Yeah, it's a common problem. There are dozens of us, Nick.
Golf course in their house and dryer sheets in their wads.
It wouldn't
By
surprise
the way,
me.
good
that
use
was
for dryer sheets. They're great to put in your shoes to not make them stink so much.
This has been
Hey, that's pretty
Home
good.
Tips with Elliot.
Sorry, I interrupted you for some stupid fucking home hack.
Hey, here's a good home hack. Put dryer sheets in your back pocket. It's much thinner than a wallet, and you can fart with gay abandon. I don't know what I was saying.
Look, I don't know if you're going to top that. You've already won. This is just, cherry on the gravy.
I like to put a hat on a hat because I'm very, very fussy about my silhouette.
They say you can tell most things you need to know about a lawyer by his silhouette. So
That man's got two hats, and as far as I can tell, no wallet.
how sleek.
Keep it between the hats. Keep them guessing.
It's like Paddington Bear's marmalade sandwich, but it's just my wallet. I stand there slowly eating my wallet while I wait for the Queen to die or whatever Paddington Bear does.
I'm pretty sure it's exactly that.
Come on, Mum. It's time to go. When did Paddington become the Grim Reaper for British celebrities, by the way?
That's right. There was that weird, that leading her down the river Styx or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, I put this on social media and explain with pictures. But until then, it's time for our final notes.
Sorry, I'm distracted because I was laughing at Paddington Bear being the Grim Reaper. And the jokes that they make, and the and the notes that we take. Final notes. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, hell yes. Thank you. I just had a moment where I was like, oh, wait, is this the one where BT's doing Alanis, or is that one of the Patreon things? But I got to hear a bit of Taylor.
Yeah, the Alanis of the 2010s and 2020s.
Very angry girl music.
She had a lot more successful albums than Alanis.
Yeah, because I think two of Alanis's top 5 albums are the same album re-released twice.
Yeah. The acoustic one, it's really good. Nick, do you have any final notes?
So my final notes are, I know it's a recurring index theme, but good Lord, these new episodes feel quiet.
Yep.
Especially because I was listening with headphones, which, to be fair, I haven't done that for a long time with an old episode, but they just feel so stark. And I think it might also be because the voices are being recorded with better equipment, that I think the starkness is even...
There's a greater contrast to it.
Exactly, there's a greater contrast to it. There's a great line when Ralph's explaining what he thinks he saw at the golf course, and he says that there's a lot of clowns, and he's holding up, like, flashing, like, 10 fingers or 8 fingers, I guess. And Bart goes, dang, that's hella clowns, which is great. When we first see that Jimbo has his big wad of cash, he's showing Bart and Milhouse, and then after a moment, he snaps and shouts, "Look away, pervs."
Yeah, because he's
he
kissing
starts
the
kissing
wand.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird pivot. And then when the golf course switches to a religion, one of the things they say is, "May golf have mercy on us all," which is, that is molto bene. That's a good joke. And next time I'm standing on a golf course in the rain, having played badly all day, and I chip a ball into a lake, I'm going to stand there and say, "May golf have mercy on us all."
Beautiful.
And pray to the deity. The shark. Was this Greg Norman? Was this a
Yeah.
Greg
Yeah,
Norman reference?
Greg
in the
Norman
episode?
cameo finally after 32 years.
Yeah. For all those Aussies who are wondering, when's the Greg Norman reference coming?
When's the great white shark going to roll in? Yes, definitely a Greg Norman reference.
There we go. BT, any other notes?
Yeah. Let's see. When they first go into the golf course, Nelson just goes, "Hey, look, ducks. I'm going to steal their wet bread." I'm like, okay.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's good.
Yep. I do like the place needed new caddies because the other ones were all injured in an elaborate virginity-losing wager. When Bart's first caddying for Kent Brockman, he's like, "Oh, and all the kids at school love your show, and the girls call you a snack. If I can call you, by the popular lingo." And he's like, "Oh, the snack will allow it." And later on, his editorial piece is just called "The Snack Speaks." So, okay, that's a good callback.
Bart had some weird lingo in that scene, though. As soon
Everyone
as
thinks your broadcast is swagness.
as soon as he
I missed
started
that.
caddying, his lingo just changed to this really fake street thing. It was weird.
Nah, it's weird seeing Bart talk like a Zoomer, but that's where we are now.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd just be better to take the clueless route and just make up all the lingo. But whatever. Let's see. The best money is peeled off of a wad. Sorry for having to say it, but I had to say wad.
It'll be said at least 5 more times
I
in the
know, it's
course of the
gonna
podcast.
Elliot's final notes are just wad.
Meat wad.
Oh, you burned them all. Now we can't say it again.
Meat wad. Another Aquatine Hunger Force reference.
Naturally.
Oh.
Make the homies say ho. When Bart pays for everyone's ice cream, I do like Homer's line of, "Why do I suddenly want to bring Bart's car around?" I think it's the line itself is okay-ish, but I think the delivery sold me on when Homer's like, "Honey, don't you remember when the whole country got together and decided all the money should go to 12 families and and their suck-ups? Don't you remember we all decided that?" Yeah, it got me. And also when he's making his speech there, he kind of just keeps tapping his shirt with his ice cream.
Yeah. No, he even had a good line later on where he goes to Marge, "You know how you've told me that sometimes you just want me to listen to your problems and not give you advice? Good luck."
Yeah, it's like taking the right lesson at the wrong time.
I did find it weird that Homer wasn't more involved with this plot, but if you're going to write him off the episode, sure.
Yeah, exactly. He's also got the line of, "Bart's job is both above board and under the table," which, would tie in nicely with the "you've employed children" angle. So, just was lying right there. And that's all my notes. Elliot, do you have notes?
Yes.
Elliot, do you have notes?
Notes.
Burns is left-handed in this. I thought he was from the generation that would have been beaten out of him, but there you go.
It would have been sinister, as is, that comes from Latin, which means left. And naturally, if it was the sinister outcome, he would have gone with it.
So
There you
my,
go.
my favorite thing about that, because I'm left-handed, and often when signing documents and stuff with clients, because I am a lawyer for anyone that didn't pick that up before, often clients will point out, "You're left-handed," as if it's a secret that I've been keeping from them. And then I'll mention, interesting thing about left-handed is the reason that they used to beat it out of you in schools is because the Latin word for it is sinister, which means evil. The Latin word for right-handed is dexterous. So compare being ambidextrous, which means you have 2 right hands where you're very good at something. Compare that to being bad at dancing where you have 2 left feet. And it's this strange little 35 to 40 second circle that I can just go, "Oh, you said a completely inane comment about me being left-handed. I'm just going to bamboozle you with language for a bit, and then
While rewrite this contract.
and then we'll get on to the next topic."
Nice.
But yeah, I was surprised when I found that out because, you play all your guitars right-handed. Which is,
because the first time anyone put a guitar in my hands, no one thought, "Oh, Nick's left-handed, we need to get him a left-handed guitar." It was just my uncle had a right-handed one, and so that's what someone put in my hands. And honestly, thank fuck that that's the case. If you
Open up a lot of options.
if you are a parent or guardian or significant other of a young kid who is showing any level of musicality and they are left-handed, ignore it. Put a right-handed guitar in their hands. Left-handed guitars are rarer, they are sometimes more expensive, and they do not come in as many colors or design options as right-handed guitars. Just be right-handed, it's fine.
Yeah,
You didn't say no left-handed Tom DeLonge
I was going to
exclusive.
say.
100%.
Do they even make left-handed banjos? I don't think so.
No, like a previous guest on the pod as well, Christian. Like during the course of uni, he stopped playing left-handed drums and just learnt right-handed, even though he's left-handed and been learning left-handed drums to that point.
And,
He's like,
that's the other weird thing, because I've played drums for about 15 years, and I'm left-handed at drums, and it means that I can never sit down and play at someone else's kit without doing 5 minutes of rearranging first. But
well, because Deej as well, our good friend DJ Y, he's also left-handed, but he just plays right-handed guitars upside down, and that's just how he learned. That's how he plays it, and quite frankly, he gets like different sounds out of the guitar than a lot of people would.
So not restrung, like just flat out. Wow.
Yeah, his high strings are at the top and the low strings are down the bottom.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now that's sinister.
Yeah. Wow. And so you'd have to he'd have to watch, like if he was watching a YouTube tutorial on how to play guitar, he'd have to watch it in two mirrors to get the reverse and then looking down on it as well.
Petitioning YouTube to add that option along with speed up, slow down, and all that.
Dual mirror.
Good work, DJY. That's great.
My final note is just a fun fact that, according to Matt Selman, the executive producer of The Simpsons, they'd originally pitched to get Larry David to voice the role of the rabbi in the end of the episode, but because this episode was started getting produced under COVID-19 times, they decided it's probably not the right time to bother him, and they didn't go through with that. Yeah, fun fact. Anyway, it is time to rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using a 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. Maybe if the episode was just you give it participant. But for the positive rankings, you got okay, bronze, good, silver, excellent, gold. But for the best of the very best, the albatross episodes, the fucking 20 under par episodes, you give cubic zirconia. I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. Look, I didn't hate this one. It's getting a big old bronze from me. It does kind of skirt the line of participant, but you know what? They just got it in the cup.
Yeah.
BT.
I used to know who you were, and now I don't understand a word you say.
That's good golfing there, Elliot. They just got it in the cup.
I hope I didn't force that joke. Anyway, BT.
Fuck me. Look, I'm on the same way. I'm like right on that bronze participant. Bronze. Good. Fuck. I'm out. I quit. Bronze tip.
It's not a real word. Don't be embarrassed about fucking it up.
No, I will. I've been doing this for 8 years. Good Lord. I also kind of want to go below a bronze, but I think I enjoyed this more than not, so I am going to go with a bronze because, for the most part, I had a good time. I think its problems are fixable, but not like drastic teardowns you need to do, just tweaks mostly.
And
that ending is awful, though.
Yeah.
Yes, I am also going bronze. This is a unanimous bronze.
Hey, we are giving this one the bronze finger.
Don't ask which one that is.
Yeah, see, the problem is, there are times where I have come on this podcast and I have come up with things that have really stuck, like the index finger and the Montgomery Burns Award for blah, 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 blah. And so now, like, I've never had a unanimous bronze before. Fuck, I've got to think of something.
Pressure's on. Bronze finger.
Hey.
We are giving this the Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
And this will be equal second best. Oh no, sorry. Equal third. Nope. Again. Sorry.
Hey, he's caught my disease.
Yeah, I have. Roughly equal third best episode in season 32.
Roughly equal third.
Depends how the math works.
So did they give you the job as one of the Olympic judges in the upcoming Olympic Games, Elliot? That person came roughly fourth, I guess. That's fine.
Whatever. No one gives a shit about fourth.
Yeah, everyone's holding up the point decimal numbers and just holding up a big bronze finger sign.
Holding up a big "sorry, I'm dysnomic" sign.
Hey, we brought it back.
And the gnomes are like, "What did you say, motherfucker?"
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah, because there's 2 dull silvers and a shiny bronze above it, so that would make it equal fourth then because of that. There's 2 equal first, so then a third, so then equal fourth. Yep.
Yeah,
Some
man.
complicated math.
Yep.
This is what everybody come here to hit here.
Yep. Internal spreadsheet admin.
Good fun stuff. Nick, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
No worries, guys. Thank you for the invite. Always a pleasure. Thank you for the golf-themed episode. We sure have come a fair way today.
Oh.
And I guess, I mean, if we're pretending that we're all in the same room, I'll now have to drive back to my house, and I might get a cup of a tea on the way.
Dang.
Do I have any others?
I get it. Cup.
Oh, I didn't know we were using all our golf puns at the end. Oh, that's rough.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Well, these might not make the first cut.
Were you drinking Slice or Yoo-Hoo? I don't know. Yeah. Have you got anything to plug?
No. I mean, feel free to go back and listen to all the old pods in the King of Springfield. James and I have grand plans to one day do some more. I shouldn't give this away because we might actually do this, but we probably won't. We actually had the idea, because it's been probably 3 years since we uploaded an episode. We had the idea of calculating where we would be up to if we had kept to doing one episode a week, and then just in the middle of the episode make some flippant comment about, I'm not sure that they've been uploading properly. But just pretend that we'd never taken a break, but very unlikely that we'll actually do that, which is why I feel comfortable saying it, because at least I get the payoff of you two laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
bit.
be so good. Just skipping over 7 and 8, like the best seasons. And just, yeah.
To be honest, it seems like a very Pods in the Key of Springfield thing to do.
It does.
Hey, we have a very good idea. How about we completely shoot ourselves in the foot over it? Hey, works for me.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, go check it out. It's still my favorite Simpsons podcast out there.
thank you,
Sorry,
man.
other Simpsons podcasts.
Yeah.
And I don't know, if you want to follow me, I'm Nick Ibis on Twitter. I mostly only post about cricket and Taylor Swift, so if you like those things, I'll see you there.
I don't understand either of them.
And AFL.
And AFL, and AFLW, AFLM and AFLW.
And yeah, thank you for being one of our sports correspondents as well.
Yeah, no, I can't wait until The Simpsons do an AFLW episode. I'm going to come so loaded with info.
You make jokes, and yet
Well,
we're
I
running out
mean,
of ideas.
they're putting NRL in the States. Like, Russell Crowe's been fucking trying to sell it over there, doing exhibition games in Vegas.
It went
and
well,
everything.
In
apparently.
Vegas, yeah. I mean, they say that it went well, and they say that it was a sold-out stadium, and then you see photos from inside of the stadium, and I think saying that the NRL in Vegas was a sold-out stadium is a little bit like Trump's 2016 inauguration was the biggest inauguration ever. You can say it, but there are photos that might indicate otherwise.
Might say others, all right.
I only just thought about that. God, playing NRL in the fucking Vegas heat, that would have sucked.
Yeah.
Were they indoor venues? They were probably indoor venues.
I think it was an indoor venue.
Yeah.
I think they were spiking it in the MGM Grand Fountain or something. I don't know.
BT, what have we got going on?
Well, my eyes told me a secret that if you go to patreon.com/sidequeststudios, and you know what, maybe I shouldn't tell you. Maybe you should go yourself and look around. Maybe there's 180 odd exclusive podcasts there. I don't know.
That's
Maybe
one
there's
for every degree of a semicircle.
Oh my God.
We've hit that semicircle milestone, people.
It's all we ever wanted. My parents will be so proud. Maybe you can, sign up and recommend movies that star a cast member of The Simpsons for us to review. Maybe that could be anything, even if it involves Adam Sandler. We'll end up doing it. Maybe we have all the podcasts where we catch me up on the episodes I missed. There's secrets with it. Who's to say what's behind that Patreon paywall?
Yeah, and actually one of the favorite podcasts I've ever produced was recently we did a deep dive into the Simpsons house that they built in Las Vegas, speaking of which. And that was just, a really fun deep dive to do, and me and Peach had a fun time going through that story and poring over that. So, go check it out. We're having lots of fun over at patreon.com/sidequeststudios. But, that about does it for the Simpsons Index. Once again, thank you so much, Nick.
No worries. And to anyone who was not convinced by that spiel, I am a Patreon member, and it is a very entertaining series of programs to listen to. I am reading this message voluntarily. Thank you.
Good read.
Thank you for heartily endorsing this Eventual product.
Exactly. Thanks for having me on, lads.
And thank you, BT.
Wad. Yes! I nearly got a water spit.
A water spit.
And I'm Elliot J. O'Neill. That's all the mustard in the wad.
I knew it was coming and I laughed at it.
Wait, take two. That's all the mustard in the golf course that's in the middle of your house.
Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. You can also check out our other shows, like Pulp Fury Radio, our scripted fiction podcast, which tells all original stories across a range of pulp genres, and Thrones of Game, where we review Game of Thrones in reverse order. Links to those podcasts and more will be available in the show notes. Now, there's no bonus scenes for this episode, so we'll catch you next week.